Who is the greatest professional wrestler of all time? Is it Ric Flair?
Woo! To be the man, you gotta beat the man. Woo!
Or is it Hulk Hogan?
Oh, Pikachu, what's up, dude? I like those red and yellow colors. Those are my colors.
I won't answer this, but I will tell you who makes the better Seth MacFarlane cartoon character. This season on Fox's Animation Domination has been kind of interesting for me. I've seen two wrestling legends on two Seth MacFarlane cartoons. You have the Nature Boy Ric Flair in an episode of The Cleveland Show, and Hulk Hogan in an episode of American Dad. Which was the better cameo? I'll get to that in a second. But first, let's take a brief look at each series, in case you've lived under a rock and had no idea that Seth MacFarlane has other cartoons that aren't Family Guy. The Cleveland Show premiered on September 27, 2009, and surprisingly enough, is now in its third season. How Cleveland made it this far without moving back to Quahog is beyond me. Let's do a little comparison. The Cleveland Show is to Joey what Family Guy is to Friends. It's a horrible spin-off of Seth MacFarlane's most popular series. The show focuses on the life of Cleveland, his son, his wife Donna, and her two kids Roberta and Rilo. The Cleveland Show may have been okay if it didn't feel like we were watching MacFarlane's cavalcade of cartoon comedy again. You know, all those jokes that weren't good enough to make it in the Family Guy the first time around. Really, the Cleveland Show just feels like a lot of Family Guy leftover plots. But on to American Dad. American Dad was MacFarlane's second show, and might be some of his best work yet. It made its television debut on February 6, 2005. It started off fairly similar to Family Guy, but managed to escape that formula. The series follows the Smith family and Stan Smith's duty as a CIA agent. To recap, The Cleveland Show sucks and American Dad is fantastic. But I'm here to talk about two individual episodes. First, let's start with Season 3 of The Cleveland Show, Episode 1, BFFs, featuring the Nature Boy. The episode opens up at the Drunken Clam, Broken Stool, where Cleveland is talking to his friends and finds out this bit of information.
We were just so busy with Peter Griffin being in town.
Of course, Cleveland had no idea that his old friend was coming to visit. So what does this naturally lead to? A Meg joke.
Said when he came down here for the beer walk last year, he left his daughter, so Gus had to give her back.
She'd been in the lost and found box for over a week, so I figured I could have her.
But it's okay, because the next night, the jokes even get stupider. The next night, Cleveland decides his best course of action to see what Peter's problem is to call him up. And remember how I said a lot of the Cleveland Show feels like leftover Family Guy material? I love the Trash Man, I love Surfin' Bird, I love this joke 3 years ago when it was funny. But Cleveland decides to go to Quahog and track down Peter. Cleveland arrives at the Griffin residence, and we do manage to get a pretty amusing exchange between him, Brian, and Stewie.
I don't have a crate. I've never had a crate.
You should. You'd feel safe there.
Who is it, Stewie?
Some black guy.
We don't want any candy bars.
Or magazines.
Brian, it's Cleveland.
Oh, hi, Cleveland.
Has he been cancelled already? He doesn't just get to come back.
It's funny because everyone thought the Cleveland Show would have been cancelled after one season. Get it? Peter tries to sneak out of his house to avoid Cleveland, and then we have this completely awkward conversation on why he's been avoiding his old friend.
We were friends.
We were neighbors and drinking buddies. We weren't friends.
What? Not friends?
Hey! Jeez, buddy, let it go. Have some dignity.
Does anyone believe this? Of course not. So we go back to the Drunken Stool. Broken Clam. Oh, wait, you know, the bar. Where Cleveland and his friends are sitting around and decide to go on a male bonding camp, led by the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Forget the fake-sounding also Sprock Zarathustra for a second. Ric Flair is absolutely priceless here.
I'm the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Woo! Let me tell you, there are three things I know: divorce, wrestling, and enduring male friendship. Woo! So if you want to be lifelong friends, join me on Nature Boy Ric Flair's male bonding nature trail. Woo!
It's sad, but knowing of Ric Flair's money troubles the last few years, I could see him doing this. Cleveland sure is excited about the whole thing when Ric Flair himself shows up at the bar.
Woo!
So how does this work?
Woo!
A river trip?
Woo!
To the Stool Bend Springs?
Woo!
Sorry, Stool Bend Hot Springs? Sounds great!
Yeah, they did a Lassie-type joke with Flair wooing. But let's see what happens at the camp, shall we? As they wait for Flair, Lester talks about grad school, but then the Natch interrupts.
You went to grad?
Woo! 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 Woo!
I can get behind Ric Flair suplexing a canoe. So let's speed things up a bit, shall we? Flair gives them all wigs, the group goes canoeing, some shenanigans involving a goose happens, which then allows them to all get knocked out of their boats, there's something to do with a walrus, the gang gets lost in the woods, and meets up with a bunch of hillbilly rapists. Because, you know, rape is hilarious. And Cleveland escapes and manages to catch up with the Nature Boy. The logical step would be Flair and Cleveland go save the gang of friends. But this is the Cleveland show, so Flair and Cleveland get massages from the lovely ladies.
Oh, yeah. No one's ever saved their friends with a tight lower back. Could you spend the last 10 minutes on the feet?
Cleveland.
Right, I'm off to save my friends.
After his failed rescue attempt, Cleveland manages to get himself captured. And guess who saves the day?
You can't do anything to me I haven't already done to myself.
Shock, it's Peter! But believe it or not, he does have a surprising bit of backup with the evil monkey.
Peter!
Lego my Negro!
Looks like it's 4 against 1.
4 against 2. Thanks for your help, monkey. Rip their faces and nuts off.
The episode ends with Cleveland and Peter making amends, and ultimately making this episode completely pointless. I enjoyed Ric Flair, but I don't get why he's here. They didn't set up that any of these guys are wrestling fans, and I'm really sure that any other actor or star from the 80s or 90s could have been just as successful in this role. As much as I love the Nature Boy, this isn't worth seeing just to see him, but he is pretty funny in it. On to American Dad, Season 7, Stanny Tendergrass with Hulk Hogan. The episode begins with Deputy Director Bullock giving everyone some time off for the summer. And what does Stan Smith do with his vacation, you ask?
Well, I'm off to the lake house, boys. Jet skis and dock sex.
I'm gonna spend my summer giving something back to the community. Chlamydia.
Your guys' plans suck. I'll be spending another summer at the country club.
Most people go to country clubs to relax, swim in the pool, play some golf, play tennis, you know, leisurely things. But not Stan Smith. Stan drives up to the country club and it's expected that he's a member. But they manage to pull a fast one on us, and we see that Stan is actually an employee.
Stan! Back to work for another summer!
Stan works for the CIA, and he's taking his time off to work at a country club. Is he donating his time or something, you might be wondering?
Hard to believe, after working here 30 summers, I almost have enough money saved to finally afford a membership.
I'm completely unaware what CIA agents make, but I'm pretty positive Stan could afford on his salary membership to a country club. But I'll live with this story. Let's see what happens at the Smith house. Francine is trying to create a catchphrase, Steve makes homosexual innuendos that turn Roger on, and Stan goes off on Steve for wasting soda.
What are you doing? Sounded like there was still some soda left.
I don't like the last half. It's not as effervescent. Nope, the bottom's not for me. I'm what they call a top.
That's a soda from my fridge, which I bought with money I worked for.
Sorry, I didn't know you wanted it. My fingers are still sticky. You can suck on them if you want.
Well, I'll be upstairs melting pearls on my tummy if you need me.
Unlike the Cleveland show, American Dad manages to set up the Hulk Hogan appearance. And this is how.
Now you have a problem with soda and being rich?
No, I have a problem with people who have it too easy. I admire the self-made men of this world. The Levi Strausses, the Hulk Hogans, the Larry Flints.
That's quite the list of characters Stan has in his wallet, isn't it? Stan wants to teach Steve about a lesson in hard work, so he drags him along to the country club, and that's where the episode picks up. We see that Roger is a member that's been tormenting Stan the last few years. If you've seen American Dad before, you're well aware that Roger the alien lives with the Smith family, so you might be wondering how does Stan not recognize Roger at the country club. Luckily for us, Roger does explain.
Roger?
Hey!
Why didn't my dad recognize you?
Oh, everyone in the family has one persona they can't see through.
Yeah, I'll buy that. To prove to Stan that everyone takes the easy way out to make money, Steve begins to work for Roger. Stan is not amused by this and challenges Roger to a game of golf. If Stan wins, Steve comes back to work with the employees. If Roger wins, no more employee swim. Other club members make side wagers with Roger, and Stan loses the game. But we find out that Stan threw the game and took the easy way out. I guess the appropriate response would be, Stan sold out, Stan sold out, Stan sold out. But oh yeah, Hulk Hogan's in this, isn't he? Stan is partying at the new members' gala when Steve arrives with the Hulkster. And now for one of the most epic things to ever happen on television, Hulk Hogan cutting a promo on Stan Smith.
And let me tell you something, brother. The Hulkster had to battle my entire life to get where I am, brother. With nothing but sweat, tears, and heartache, and good old red, white, and blue pumping through my veins, brother. All the training, all the matches, all the prayers, and all the brothers made me appreciate everything I've earned. That's why, no matter how many 1, 2, 3s I slap on my opponents, I just thank my lucky, mean genes I was blessed to be able to step into that squared circle and use these 24-inch pythons. Stan, brother, sometimes as a Hulkamaniac, you gotta look deep down inside yourself and ask, what you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you?
Yeah.
Well, that was every Hulk Hogan promo in the span of 50 seconds, wasn't it? You know what the next logical thing is? A fight scene. Complete with real American. And the best news, I didn't have to dub it in. It was already there. Smart move. Macfarlane's animators really know how to make a fun fight scene. But what I really enjoy about this particular sequence is the use of professional wrestling moves like the camel clutch, the clothesline, the big boot, all in what's basically a bar fight. After the fight, Stan and Steve reconcile, and Hulk Hogan walks away naked. And if you really want to see that clip, it's in my opening credits, so please rewind this episode and rewatch the entire thing. After all, I could really use the money. Stanny Tendergrass is a much better episode than BFFs of the Cleveland Show. However, the better wrestling cameo probably goes to Ric Flair. That said, Hulk Hogan is pretty amusing in this role as well. But remember one thing, things are getting too spicy for the pepper. Wait, what?